So, after doing my ranking of the Jurassic Park movies, I decided, you know what? I actually want to do a ranking of some other film, another film series, for because a franchise is about to have a new film in their repertoire. So we're going to talk about my ranking of the Superman movies. Now, a couple stipulations. First and foremost, if you think a movie should be higher or lower on the list, yeah, higher or lower on the list, I should say, or do you, or what have you, that's totally fine. I got no problem with it, and I'm always excited to hear what you guys have to say in the comments below. Another thing, I will not be counting the Justice League movies. Those are more like a team film. The only one there is going to be one movie because it is technically a Superman movie alongside another character, but that film focuses on Superman. I was thinking of taking it out, and you probably already know what it is, but yeah. I'm not going to include Justice League in here because that's more of a team and it's not so much a Superman story. It's more of a team movie, if anything. So, the Justice League movies, they're not in here. Yeah, so, let's get started. So, having said all that, let's get started. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off. We're going from bottom to top. So, we're starting with the worst, in my opinion, and moving on forward to the top. And starting things off, I know I'm probably going to get some flack for it. It's Superman, Batman. Actually, no, excuse me. That's not the worst movie, because I just remembered, oh yeah, there is something a lot worse. And that is Superman 3. Superman 3 is such a boring film. At least, and these first three movies are pretty bad, and I never want to watch them again. But yeah, Superman 3 really sucks because, like, the first two movies are solid, and trust me, they're going to be really high on this list. But that third movie, I mean, God bless Richard Pryor for trying his best, but, like, what the fuck was that? What in the good God was that movie? And Christopher Reeve's trying, too. Like, God bless him, he is the definitive Superman, but, like, good God. I watched that movie once, I never want to see it again. Following that, Superman, The Quest for Peace. This one's a little better like, Superman 4, The Quest for Peace is a little better, because there's actually, like, a story here. It doesn't feel like it's forced in the third one, where nothing really happens. Superman 4 does have something, and Nuclear Man is kind of a fun villain. It's very clear that Bendis, because I think Bendis in Superman's run, which is ass, by the way, he did canonize Nuclear Man. And I guarantee you Nuclear Man was the inspiration for the Sentry, because the Bendis created that character too. I shit you not, I am 90% certain Sentry is based off of Nuclear Man. So maybe Bendis really likes this movie, I don't. But hey, it does feel like a Superman movie. Not a great one, but a Superman movie. Yeah. So, there you go. Now we come to, I'm just going to rip this Band-Aid off right now. Batman versus Superman, excuse me. Yeah, Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice. What the fuck was this movie? Now, credit where credit is due. Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck do the best with what they can. And that opening scene where we see Bruce's, like, point of view of the Superman Zod fight is a really solid opener. And the action scenes are pretty good. Like, the Batman scene where he's fighting all those thugs to save Martha is really good. There is points of a good movie in here. Unfortunately, Zack Snyder is directing this. So, we have a Batman who brutally kills people. We have a Superman who feels like my only tether is Lois, and if I didn't have Lois, I wouldn't have anybody, and maybe I'd go crazy and join Darkseid. Thanks once again for not understanding the character of Superman. Great job, guys. Shoehorning in the Justice League stuff, which was dumb. And I almost said Michael Eisner. Jesse Eisenberg, excuse me. Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor is the worst Lex Luthor. That's not even a second attempt. Like, not even. That's not even hyperbole. He is the worst. And Doomsday, the introduction of Doomsday in here, that's the. What the fuck was that? Throwing in a Batman-Superman fight while on top of the Justice League, and then doing the death of Superman, all in one movie, I don't care how much the extended edition goes, it doesn't work. None of it works. And I've watched the Ultimate Edition 3 times to try to change my mind. No, it doesn't. Nothing works. This movie is the only reason I put it before Superman 4 and 3 is because there's more. This does have a scene to it, and there are things I can look at and go, okay, that was good. But I generally do not like this movie. I genuinely do not like this movie. Yeah. So, there you go. Moving on now to Man of Steel. Man of Steel is, I think, there is a lot of good here, but I do think as the movie went on, there's a lot of, and when you look back on it, there's a lot of flaws, like how Kevin Costner's Jonathan Kent gives the worst advice ever. They actually make fun of it in Action Comics a few years ago, where they have this same conversation where Jonathan is talking to Clark, and Clark goes, "Should I have let them die?" And he goes, "No, you had power and you had a chance to save them. Those kids get to go home to their families because you did something." Yeah, it's almost like everyone at DC Comics went, "The fuck kind of advice is that? Let the kids die?" No, that's not Jonathan Kent. And Henry Cavill is a good Superman. It's just that he was in a bunch of bad movies. And here I think is the best example of him having showing of how good of a Superman he could have been in a bad movie. Even though, yes, he kills Zod, and you could say, oh, but he had no choice. He could have done so many other things. He's Superman. There's also the whole thing of Zod, Michael Shannon's Zod is really intimidating. I really thought there are good things. Zod is really good. The Krypton stuff was interesting. And again, Henry Cavill's could have been a really great Superman, but there's so much things writing dialogue wise, and Hans Zimmer's music in here was also pretty solid too. That's the other thing I will give Dawn of Justice is the Hans Zimmer stuff was also, and no, it wasn't Zimmer, it was Junkie XL who did that one. I think with Zimmer at his side. But yeah, Hans Zimmer's Superman theme, really solid. I really like it. And one of my favorite Superman moments in the franchise, in any Superman movie, is in Man of Steel, where Clark is learning to fly and he's having a great time. He's like, yeah, he's learning to be he's learning to fly, and he's going over all these places just in awe. And I'm like, that is a very Superman moment. But again, it just gets bogged down by Zack Snyder bullshit. So there is a semblance of a good movie here, but wow, we were not prepared for what was going to happen in the Snyderverse. So yeah. Next up, Superman Returns. I like this movie. I saw this movie. This is my first Superman movie as a kid. This was the first Superman movie I saw in theaters. Brandon Routh is a solid Superman. I think he and Tyler Holson from the CW universe, specifically Lois and Clark, are the two best. They're tied for me for best Superman. I can't, as of this recording, I can't really comment on David Cornsweet, and Cavill's right behind these two. Again, I think Cavill would have been I've said this before. Cavill could have been number 2 if he just had if he had better films. But Holson and Routh are tied for second place, with Reeves still the GOAT. But anyway, as I was saying, I think the reason why this movie slaps is that it really does capture the heart of the Christopher Reeve Superman movies. And as big as a piece of shit Kevin Spacey is, and it's really made me not want to watch the movies anymore because of Spacey himself. He is up there with Gene. He is arguably so far the best movie Luthor, even better than Gene Hackman, I would say. But having said that, though, it's really hard to watch this movie, if at all, because of Spacey and what he did. But I think Routh is a great Superman, and I would have loved to have seen more from him. Absolutely. Anyway, so there you go, Superman Returns. Now, these last two movies, they could go either way, but personally, I just kind of thought about it, and I was like, this is where I set them. So, the first off, at second place, Superman the movie. This movie is the pinnacle of superhero movies. This basically was the progenitor for superhero movies. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This movie gave us everything we need for the superhero formula. Christopher Reeve is an excellent Superman. It's a great story of him battling Lex Luthor and learning who Superman is. And this movie made you believe a man could fly. And that, of course, John Williams' theme is just the GOAT. Finally is, of course, Superman 2. This movie took everything that was great about the first movie and perfected it. Just absolutely perfected it. The stuff with Zod, Terrence Stamp is an excellent Zod. The fights, while they are kind of like, you could look back and it's like, oh, they're so corny, but no. This is how Superman should fight. He should be out there saving people and more caring about, the people's lives rather than fighting Zod. Take notes, Snyder. But yeah, this film is just, I think it, like I said, it perfects everything that the first movie was working on. Do I think the whole thing with Superman and Lois is a little, like the whole kiss to forget thing, I think is kind of dumb. But other than that, that's just that's the most minor complaint. Also, call me, say what you want, but I love the Superman S film that gets thrown on Non during the scene. Like, it's just so random, but I was like, it's so dumb, I love it. Anyway, so those are just but remember, as always, this is just my personal opinion. If you think a movie should be higher or lower on the list, that's totally fine. I'm always excited to hear where the rankings go for you for Superman movies. So yeah, just comment below, let me know. Other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. We'll see you next time in the Multiverse.